Most of the content that I get from Blu-rays and or DVDs. And the first thing I do is I use this program down here called Make MKV. It's a free program you can download, put on computers. It just takes a registration code. It's been in beta for about 10 years now, but you can go to the website and find the registration beta code and have access to it. Now you'll pop in your DVD to whatever DVD or Blu-ray to whatever drive you have. It'll pop up here. It'll analyze it real quick, and then it'll break down the DVD or the Blu-ray into whatever file, or into MKV files individually. So any video file that's on there, you'll have a separate MKV file for it. I'm not going to go through the steps of doing that right now, but you use that, then it spits out an MKV file. I've already done it, so over here to the right, we have this file here, last broadcast, MKV. So obviously I got this from the last broadcast DVD. I first heard about this program back in 2014 or so. One of the movie theaters I worked at, we ran DCPs, digital content or digital cinema, digital content packages. But every once in a while we'd work with like smaller distribution houses, and they would just send Blu-rays, and running a Blu-ray in a movie theater off of expensive ass digital projector is kind of a pain, because you had to hook up a Blu-ray, you had to make sure the audio was right, you had to be there to manually start it, manually stop it, make sure people don't see the menus, etc. So it's just much easier to take the Blu-ray, rip it to an MKV file, then you take that MKV file, then you run it through another program called DCP-O-Matic, and you can turn that MKV file, 10, 15 gigs, whatever it is, into like a 100 gig DCP, and then just ingest that into the digital cinema projector, and that way you can add the cues and all that kind of stuff, and it'll start and stop automatically. So that's when I first started using this. Now MKV files I can't do much with, since I'm a non-Windows user. I use Macs, and Final Cut Pro and iMovie don't use MKV files. I'm sure there's other editing software that can. So when I have the MKV file, I'll use this program down here called Wondershare Uniconverter 13. Now I can't show you how it works right now because that's what I'm using to record this video. It also does screen recordings. You can do conversions, you can burn discs, you can do all that kind of stuff. You can even use it as a downloader, to where if you want to snag anything off of YouTube, you just toss the link into this and it'll download files from YouTube, most files. So I've already taken the last broadcast MKV, I've thrown it through what I just said, the Wondershare video converter, and it spit it out as an MP4. So from the MP4, I'll toss it into iMovie. For MP4s and smaller files, I'll use iMovie just because it's a lot simpler. For anything more in depth, I'll toss it into Final Cut Pro and spit out an M4V and do a little bit more with it. So give us a second while it opens. It's running a little slow because currently I'm also downloading Black Ops 3, even though it doesn't really run on this computer, but okay. So in iMovie, I have a bunch of different projects already open with different things going on, but I'll just use this one here. Yeah, I have a Mac Mini M2 ordered and should be here next week, so hopefully everything will be running a lot faster and smoother than it does right now. This is a 2014 Mac, so it's a little old. So there's our MP4 file right there. Actually, where'd it go? Import that. So it's 44 seconds long. And drag that down to our timeline. Now a lot of the times these files that I get, the audio sometimes, especially when I do VHS rips, the audio is really low. But looking down here, seems like the audio is at a decent level. So we'll leave that alone. Really, I probably don't have to do much with it. I could just leave the MP4 file the way it is. But in the right hand corner, you'll see that it's actually cropped. So I want to go up here and have it fit screen, because I think this is a 4x. Yeah, it's a different image. It's a pan and scan image. So that's going to be our file that we want. The audio we don't need to do anything with. So I'll just export it. I'm still working on something. The reason I put it back to that and do another copy of it is that way it spits out, the file will be the widescreen format. That way when I put it on YouTube, all my end titles and all that kind of stuff, the end cards will all match and be the same. So I'm just going to put last broadcast that way when it's in my files it'll go by L 1998 trailer. So that's going to be my final. Make it high quality, better quality, next. And it does, when you import it, makes a copy of it. So both these other copies of the MKV and that MP4 I don't need anymore, so I can delete those if I choose to. Okay, that took actually a lot longer than I thought, but I think it's also because I'm screen recording at the same time. So that file is exported. Now the next thing I do is to create the title card shorts. Alright, so yeah, so then after that, file is exported, so then I'll find the end of the title card. Trim off the end there. Go back maybe 15-20 seconds. Go back to maybe, yeah, that static right there is kind of good. So I'll cut that off. So then we just have like this 15 seconds of like the title card, which I'll use for the shorts. I did this a year or more ago with a bunch of trailers, where I was creating just a title card part as well, but I wasn't doing it as short, so I wasn't getting many plays. But ever since I started reformatting them as shorts, they started getting a lot more views. So this is just going to be the title card. Alright, all done. Delete that out. Close iMovie. So now we have over here, last broadcasting before, the short one. I color purple so I know it's a short. I color this one gray so I know it's the long version. 2 old files we don't need anymore. And the last step is using CapCut, which I downloaded this on my phone initially. So I was taking all these dozens upon dozens of these short little video files of the title card. I was copying them over to my iCloud storage, downloading them to my phone, using CapCut on my phone to make the new versions, putting them back to iCloud, and then putting them back on my computer. So I was doing this whole extra 2, 3, 4 steps, not realizing that I could just use CapCut on my computer. So this is CapCut. I have a preset project already. So go to our desktop. So using the color coding helps me find files easier. So purple right there. Gonna import that. So the aspect ratio on this is already set to be 16:9 or 9:16, the TikTok kind of Reels one. So drag that down there. It shows you what it's going to look like, but obviously you're going to have the black bars at the top and bottom. So go down over here to Canvas, click select on that. I just do blur. I don't do regular, I just do like a little bit of blur. Export. Export. And these things usually don't take that long when I'm not screen recording at the same time. But this kicks it out as an MOV file. So I have an MP4 of one thing, and then an MP4 that has the added stuff here at the top and bottom of the image, which you can't. I'm using the mouse, but you can't see the cursor, I don't think. Usually a lot of these steps again go a lot faster when I'm not screen recording at the same time and downloading a massive file. So that's all done there. Cancel out. Delete our content. Close CapCut. So now we have. I think it kept it. Oh, I think it saved it to a different folder that I was using earlier. So it spits it out. It just gives it a generic number right there. You can go in there and type it out, but sometimes I have an issue with it messing up. I got to keep selecting in order to type it out. So now I know that the MOV file is the shorts version, and the MP4 is the regular version, and the gray one is the full version. So those are my 3 files. I'll upload that one as a regular trailer for viewing. I'll do the MOV file as the short, and I'll just keep the backup of the MP4 as a short. So that's what I do to make content for Tripsy trailers. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe.